Hello, welcome to Yoga with Di. I'm Di, and this is a full body energizing morning practice to set you up for the day. So come join me on the mat. Let's get started. So let's start at the front of the mat just to take a few moments to tune into the self. So feet hip width apart, roll the shoulders, maybe a couple of times, just easing into those shoulders. Roll them down and back, and then leave those shoulder blades pointing down the spine, down the back. Tuck the tailbone slightly, suck the belly in, and stand tall and proud. Push down with the feet. As you push with the feet, maybe feel the legs engage slightly. And take a deep breath here. And exhale slowly and steadily. Let's do that again. A nice deep breath. And just note how you feel today. Just maybe check in with yourself. Any little areas of tension or niggles. Any little areas of stress. Or maybe you're feeling great and ready to take on the day and take on the practice. Just observing and noting how you are today. And then let's get moving. So bring your hands into prayer at your heart center. And then as you inhale, bend the knees slightly to stretch up. And then as you exhale, bend the knees generously as you float to the floor. Inhale, stretch the spine and look forwards. Exhale, step that right leg back. Nice big step, drop the knee. Let's just take a few moments here, easing into that hip flexor, perhaps just moving side to side, moving back and forth. And then plant that right hand and inhale the left arm to the sky. Exhale, bring that hand back down, and then we'll take the bum back slightly just to stretch into the back of the leg. Maybe just take a few of these, just easing backwards and forwards as we're opening up the body. Then let's take that knee back and we find ourselves in tabletop. We'll take a few cat-cows here, so just inhale, looking to your navel, exhaling here, breathing steadily, and then maybe coming through neutral spine, and then lift the hips, lift the chest, look forwards. Inhale, exhale here. And then moving again through your neutral. And then back, lifting the chest. Come back to your neutral. Perhaps walk the knees a little bit further back here to come into your half plank. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, bend the elbows and think about peeling the thighs onto the floor first. Thighs, then the pelvis, then the belly, then the chest. And then we inhale, lift the chest, look forwards. And exhale, push into the hands, tuck the toes, send the hips up. We're in our downward dog. First downward dog of the practice. So pedal the dog. Ease into this here. Maybe sway the hips from side to side. And then come to your neutral. On your next inhale, send that right leg to the sky. Exhale, bring it forward, step between the hands. Drop that back knee. We will just ease here as we did the other side. Just taking a few moments. And then plant that left hand, inhale the right arm to the sky. And then exhale. Back to the floor. We'll send the hips back again just to ease into the back of the leg. Maybe think about pointing the toes to the ceiling if you want to get that stretch into the calf, or leave them pointing forwards to go deeper into the hamstring. And then we'll come back to the front, push into those back toes, and we'll step forwards. Fold forwards. Maybe just hang here a few moments before pushing down with the feet, inhaling, coming up to standing, exhaling, hands into prayer at the heart center. Hopefully the body's feeling a little bit looser, a little bit more warm. And we'll just take one more sun salutation before we start moving into other postures. So hands into prayer, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, bend the knees, fold forward. We'll move a little bit quicker now. Inhale, stretch the spine, look forwards. Exhale, you can hop the feet back or jump back into your plank. Lower the knees here, bend at the elbows, peeling the body to the floor. Inhale, rise, low cobra. Exhale, pushing into the hands, tuck the toes, back into downward dog. Breathe here. On your next inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, step it between the hands, and then we'll step the right leg forwards and fold. On your next inhale, push down with the feet. Lift the chest, keep lifting, keep lifting, keep lifting. Stretch up. Burn hands down to the heart center. Let's take a wide step. Nice big wide step. Turn the back heel to the back corner of the mat. Right toes to the short edge. And then bend into that front knee. Inhale the arms out. Warrior two. So key things in this posture, try and keep the heel aligned with the middle of the back foot. Knee doesn't go over the ankle, that's too much pressure on the knee. So try and ensure the knee is either above the ankle or behind the ankle. And just breathing here, you can look out over the finger of your right hand. And we're trying to think about opening up the hips here. So really concentrate on opening that right knee, keeping that right knee turning out. So the thigh bone, your femur, is almost rotating out backwards, as is this femur. So you're really opening into the hips. And then on your next exhale, stretch forwards and let's bring that elbow to that knee and take the left arm over. Breathe here. Think about pushing down with the outer edge of the back foot and stretching with the fingers. Giving yourself a nice big side body stretch. And then inhale, coming up to your warrior two. And then let's windmill the hands down to bring our hands to the floor, pivoting on the back toes. We come back into plank. Drop the knees. This time, bend at the elbows to bring the chest to the floor, keeping the hips high. Then slide forwards, low cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes back into your downward dog. And then you can walk the feet forwards or maybe look forwards, gentle jump between the hands, fold forwards, and then root through the feet to rise back to standing. Take that wide step again, and this time we switch the legs. This right heel pointing back, left toes towards the short edge of the mat, and bending into that left knee. So again, just taking a few moments, checking on the alignment, trying to ensure that knee not in front of the ankle, heel and arch of the foot in a line, back of the outer edge of that back foot pressing into the mat. Taking the arms out, breathing here. It can really help to squeeze that back glute to open up the hips here. So thinking about keeping that knee, pushing, even bring your hand down and just feel that opening of the thigh. If you can stroke down the thigh to the knee, sometimes that helps with the kind of that opening up feeling that we need in that leg. Breathing here. And then we'll stretch forwards, take that elbow down and the right arm up. Really reaching and pushing down with the back edge of the foot at the same time to get that deep stretch. And then coming back up, Warrior Two, we'll rainbow the arms down, take that front leg back into our plank once more. Breathe here. And then options here, knees down, chest to the floor, or peel down into your half plank, or perhaps from knees lifted, just bend the elbows, coming in to your upward dog. And then tucking the toes, pushing back, downward dog. Nice deep breaths here. And then we'll hop or walk forwards, fold, and then root to rise. And back, hands into prayer at your heart center. Let's step back with the right leg. So I'll come this way. Step back into the right leg, into a high lunge. So once again, just being careful that knee doesn't go too far forwards. Pushing back with the back heel. Inhale, arms to the ceiling. Exhale, bring that right elbow to the outside of the left knee. If you're finding that that's a little bit wobbly, other option here is to just twist and take the arms out. So you're still getting the twist in the torso, but it might just be a little bit easier to stay balanced. Breathing wherever you are. And then wherever you are, coming back to standing. We'll go the other side. So take the left leg back, nice big step, bending into that front knee, lifting the arms, deep inhale, and then exhale to your own version of this high lunge twist. Breathing steadily. And then inhale, back to center, step forwards. Right, shall we do tree pose? So, bringing your weight into your left leg. Options here, to maybe just lift the heel and really work on strengthening the standing leg. Squeeze that glute. Maybe lift the leg to the calf or up to the thigh. Choice is yours. Breathing here. Key thing here is really keep squeezing that glute to try and avoid moving too far into that hip, to try and keep yourself standing tall and perpendicular. So finding that real squeezing the thigh into the foot as much as the foot squeezes to the thigh or the calf, wherever you are. And then to release, see if you can unhook the leg and just gently bring it forwards and breathe with the knee lifted to hip height. Really rooting through that standing foot. If you wish to try and straighten the leg, go ahead, or just stand with it bent. And then we'll release. Let's take the other side. So again, options. If you've come from the foot to the floor, you can still have a go at lifting the knee and standing with the knee at the end of the posture. So wherever is right for your body, lift, but not on the knee, not the sole of the foot on the knee. Either the thigh, the calf, or the ankle. And then breathing here. And again, squeezing into that glute just to try and help maintain a solid vertical line as much as you can. And then again, we'll come out of the posture nice and slowly. Think about lifting the knee to the hip height. Just holding it there for a moment or so, maybe with a straight leg. Choice is yours. And then release. Wonderful. Let's do one last sun salutation before we hit the mat. So, standing at the front, inhale, stretch. Exhale, bend the knees. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, you can step or you can perhaps jump back into your plank. Breathe here. And then take your options for chaturanga. Knees down, chest to the floor, or plank, half plank, or full chaturanga. Coming down, then through to upward dog or baby cobra. Tucking the toes. Back to downward dog. Breathe here. And then this time we will walk the hands back to the feet. Take the feet as wide as the mat, perhaps out towards a 10-2 kind of position, and bend at the knees to slowly bring your seat down. Just as far as is comfortable. Maybe taking your squat position. Breathing here. And then we'll bring the seat to the floor. Let's make our way onto our backs, but don't be fooled, we're not quite done. A few more postures yet, but we'll start to roll down onto our backs. Bring the soles of the feet in, heels as close to the bum as you can get, with the toes facing forwards. Place the arms down by your side, palms down for support. And then perhaps we'll just start with some pelvic tilt. So just think about pushing the ribs into the floor and lifting the tailbone up slightly. And then rocking that tailbone back to the mat. So just feel that small little movement. And as you lift the tailbone off the floor, you might feel the belly muscles engage here. And we want to kind of really feel those muscles engaged as we go into the full extension of the posture. We're going to go up into bridge, but let's just sort of feel those muscles engaged, because sometimes we can forget our core once we're up in bridge. So let's just activate those muscles now so that we can hopefully remember to keep them engaged as we fire up into our bridge. So start to extend that lift of the tailbone into some vertebra of the spine as you move up and down. So starting to lift the lower spine, maybe just as far as the 12th vertebra for now, so not going too far. So maybe lifting up to your rib cage and then lowering each vertebra back down to your sacrum. And then let's go a little bit further. So maybe let's go to the shoulder blades, bottom of the shoulder blades, lifting and lowering. Just peeling that spine one vertebra at a time, really articulating every vertebra. And now we're going to start to move right up onto the top of the shoulders. Think about pushing those knees forwards, keeping the belly engaged. And then this time, let's see if we go up into full bridge and hold. So roll the shoulders open here to really push into the feet. You may wish to clasp your hands underneath you and really roll into those shoulders to push the hips high. Maybe you want to shuffle your feet back a bit if you feel that there is a little bit more extension in the spine. And breathing here. Squeezing the glutes, keeping the belly engaged. And then releasing the arms and slowly peeling the spine back towards the mat until the whole spine hits the mat, and then we release the feet. Maybe sway the knees gently from side to side. Nothing too dramatic. And then let's bring our knees into our chest. Give ourselves a little hug. Rock gently from side to side here, just to ease into that lower back. And we'll bring the knees above the hips. Let's take the arms out to the side, elbows as high as the shoulders. Your arms can be stretched or in cactus, but just keeping them out nicely to the side. Deep inhale. And as you exhale, really root that right shoulder as you drop the knees to the left side. And breathing here into that twist. And then on your next inhale, rooting through that right arm to push into that right arm, suck the belly in to bring the knees back. Deep breath here. And then exhale, let's take the knees over to the other side, working really hard to keep that left shoulder on the floor. And breathing into your twist. And then pushing down with your right arm to lift the knees back to center. Drop the feet to the mat. Spread the feet away from you. Let's come up into our final Savasana. And even if you've got lots of things you want to go off and do today, Just take a few moments, just a little bit of time here to let the body process what you've just done. Your body will thank you for it, your body and mind and soul. So just a few moments longer in your Savasana, close down the eyes, take a deep breath, and exhale slowly with control. One more time, a nice deep breath. And a nice slow, controlled exhale. And just take a few moments here to check in with yourself and note how you're feeling in this moment. Whether there are any changes from the check-in you did at the beginning of the practice. And if there are any residual bits of tension or tightness, just think about sending your breath there, letting the breath go and cleanse those areas, and carrying out that tension and tightness on every exhalation. And stay here now for as long as you like. And when you're ready, if you wish to close off the practice with me, then maybe introduce some movement to your fingers and toes. Rotate at the ankles and wrists. Perhaps take the arms overhead. Full body stretch. Right side, left side. Stretch. And then bring your knees into your chest to give yourself a nice big thank you hug. Rock from side to side. Maybe bring your hands behind your thighs if you wish to rock and roll to seated, or you can make your way up to seated, whatever way you choose. Coming to sit on your mat in a nice comfortable seat, hands into prayer at the heart center. Take a nice deep inhale as you stretch up. Exhale, hands into prayer, come down towards your heart center. Inhale, stretch up, imagine you're scooping up all the energy in the room. And exhale, hands into prayer down through your heart center. Inhale, stretch up, scooping up all the energy of the universe. Pulling that down towards you on your exhale into your heart center. And then bow forwards. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today. I hope that practice has set you up well for the day. If you liked it, do check out other practices. There's lots of different types of yoga on the channel. Whatever you're doing today, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you.